Hello all, thanks for checking out this video here on G4G, Games for Gamers. I'm your host, Napalm Dawn, and today we're taking a look at the item that was given to us in PvP Season 24, which of course was the gadget that came out in the season before the one that we are currently in, and it is called the Lunacy. So I wanted to show you guys what my offense looks like and kind of give you an example as to what the Lunacy can do for you in this situation, or what I would face if the Lunacy hit me. So as you can see here, for my offense, basically I'm running the Grace Note, the Venom Launcher, the satellite support to prevent against stealthy attacks, the weather control device, and the scroll of Runemerah. So earlier today I ran into a team that was using the Lunacy and had a level 15 P5 Emmerfrost as an infiltrator. The second time that I went to use the scroll of Runemerah in combat, because it happened to be available again, she pre-popped me with the psychic tap. Now at this point I was okay. I was immune due to the fact that I had haste. It was 9-6, and they weren't running a scroll of Runemerah, so the psychic tap was not able to stick. But basically everything that is subtle on first usage and then eventually stealthy and catastrophic can become exposed to agent gear and characters when you are using the Lunacy. And in this video I basically want to discuss some of the combinations that can be used when the Lunacy is brought into combat. Now, before I get into trying to make teams around the Lunacy and everything, I have to basically tell you that sometimes the best laid plans go to waste. And I discovered that today when I happened to be watching some of Kingfisher's videos that I was catching up on, hadn't caught in a little bit. Well, if you happen to look at his channel, he has a team up of Spitlord, which is something that the moment I saw Spitfire, I had exposed that I believed they could make a team out of Spitfire and Starlord, similar to the way we run into Quicklord groups. Well, he was using that team on offense, and he had a lot of follow-up weapons. And he defeats his first team rather handily in the video. And a few days ago, I had noticed that I had defended against Kingfisher and lost. So I took a screenshot of it and replied to a thread on his Facebook and said, "Hey, here's my team. Do you remember what it was like to fight them?" Unfortunately, he didn't respond. But I kind of wanted some input on how my team did, what they did, and everything like that. Well, the second team in his Spitlord video is my defensive team. I immediately see Molly and Null drop into combat, and I look down, I'm like, holy shit, Agent Johnson, that's my defense. So I'm like, this is going to be great. I actually get to watch my defense in action, and I have for the longest time said, Playdom, please give us a defensive simulator already. It's not that hard to do. We already have practice matches. We already fight AI controlled characters. What is so hard about the AI controlling both sets of teams? You just need to give us a quit button, a pause, and a quit button. And we can watch our teams duke it out, Rock'em Sock'em Robot style, just, Skynet. Just watch the two teams go at it and just give you, just get a quick exit if you don't want to watch the whole thing. Well, as you can see here, my agent has the Hugin's Eye, the weather control device, the scroll of Runemerah, the Mystic, and the Grace Note. In my hand, I exposed nothing about my agent. If you click on my agent, you will know that I have the Mystic, you will know that I have the Hugin's Eye, you will know that I have something in the Arnea set. You won't know what, but you don't know that I have the weather control device or the Scroll of Rudamaroth. And actually, you sort of really don't know I have the Scroll of Rudamaroth because the Slode is initially hidden by the Mystic. So, it sneaks up on you. If I had the scroll in my hand, I would know it. If I had the lunacy in my hand, I would know it. And to me, that becomes high priority. It's like, oh my god, I gotta kill this guy before this gets rolling. Well, follow-ups beat my null into oblivion before he goes. Molly successfully goes into her taunt and winds up taking a bunch of shots and actually stacking her escutcheon up, and Kingfisher starts getting a little afraid. She counters but whiffs because she hits the agent with the Hugin's eye and the elite ISO, so Molly's draining, but she gets drained herself on one of the counters. Well, Spitfire is just creating a bunch of stacks. Finally, it's my agent's turn. You would think with 2 available quick action items like this, that the weather control device and the scroll would have been used in round 1, or potentially one of them. No. What my agent does is Mystic Kingfisher's agent, which is a good thing because it shuts down his tech and actually, like, his available things shrinks badly. But the Scroll of Rudamaroth would have put the fear of God into him. He was already getting a little afraid, and then if I had, like, exhausted him and Rudamaroth him, he would have been like, uh-oh. And he did Blackest Void by Mystic off, so I was exposed at that point, but I could have exposed him just as badly. So if you run the lunacy with some of the stuff that I suggest, do note that unless it is absolutely foolproof, it may not go the way that you want. I've seen some agents have a cube in their hand and not Blackest Void in the first turn. So the lunacy basically removes subtle, then removes stealthy, and removes catastrophic from your abilities. When you remove subtle, you expose yourself badly to all of those bad guys that lurk in the dark corners of PvP that stealth and subtle normally gets you around. For example, you're running a null. You haven't exhausted him yet, so he squats and he single targets somebody, but you do know he's now ready to start punching you every time you do actions. Well, most people are like, null and curse, no problem. I'm going to run stealthy items. Well, when your subtle and stealthy get exposed, what happens is things like the signpost, things like the Scroll of Rudamaroth, things like the Scroll of Engelbob, all those actions now become exposed to the outside world, and you may get hit with it. For example, Emma Frost seeing the Scroll of Rudamaroth coming and psychic tapping me as it's coming in because of her combat reflexes. Scroll of Rudamaroth normally pisses nobody off, but I was lunacied, so, you know, I was not taking strain damage because I was immune, but that subtle action was exposed. Amazing Spider-Girl going to do her magnetic maneuver, which is a quick action, that was exposed. Emma psychic tapped her, and for some reason my immunity had actually fallen off, so that did cause the psychic tap to hit her and proc. She lived and we won the match. But think of this as a team up. The lunacy and the Scroll of Rudamaroth, the Black Roscoe, the Gauntlet Caress, and the Cosmic Cardinal. Null with the elite ISO so that his pre-counters are uninterruptible, and P5 Infiltrator Emma Frost level 15. So, and a level 15 null. Level 15 null activates the bruiser bonus. He does his quick action. Now if he's exhausted, of course, that's a little bit of an issue, but let's pretend he's not. He activates his You're Not Worthy and he hits you. Your agent goes to go and use the Blackest Void, and null punches you one time, so now you have an extra meteor stack. You're running Hafe on your side. Hafe sees null coming, tries to combo break him, Null gets hit, but Null still walks right through it because the Elite ISO makes you uninterruptible. Later in the, now after your agent goes, Emma Frost, level 15, she activates her level 15 Infiltrator bonus, combat reflexes. She unlocks potential on Null, clearing his debuffs, and then she psychic taps you. Hafe goes to do something of yours, like maybe punch out my Emma. Emma sees it coming, psychic taps him on the way in. He now is forced to take a psychic tap because it is on the way in, and then Emma lives because she's very durable thanks to organic recovery. So you can see how this can get bad. So the things that I believe that would get exposed by lunacy would be things like all the scrolls, the light fantastic, the black as void, the signpost, you know, all prime examples of things that would, yeah, here, smothering shadow on the Lantern of Doom. I mean, this is a nice little stand-in for the Mystic, if you happen to have it. As you can see, if I put this on my defensive agent, it's not going to help. He may wind up using this, and if he doesn't do this until after the scroll is out, you can clean off all of this gunk over there. But, so let's say I'm affected by the lunacy, and I have a, let's say a spiral with the pre-fire ISO and combat reflexes on the other side. I go to use the Lantern of Doom's magic. Spiral sees it coming and she level 1s me. Psylocke sees it coming and she level 1s me. I mean, you know, Skrin sees it coming and interrupts me. Heimdall interrupts me. Sweats Devil. So there's a whole lot of things that could potentially be an issue if you're exposed with the lunacy. If you have Captain Steve Rogers, you know, he has the ability to counter melee actions, ranged actions, and he also has this one that counters buff and debuff actions. Union Jack has an ISO that allows him to preemptively counter defensive action. Sweats Devil works on things. Null works on things. Chase works on things. Potentially an Infiltrator Nurkod works on things like that. Using the signpost on Kurth, she'd get in your face now all of a sudden. So there are lots and lots of things. The Grace Note, the Mandible, all of the post counters, the Rapier, the Cosmic Cardinal. You use the signpost and it's not subtle. Before you use it, you may get a Grace Note, and after you use it, you may get a Mandible. So there is some really, really good things that could be done. You take Classy Rogue, you drop her back down to Fam Rogue, or apparently my game needs to be refreshed for no reason. You know, you drop her down to Fam Rogue, and all of a sudden she starts countering you again for doing something as simple as using the signpost. Or, you know, you did a black as a void. So it's a really scary thing as to how wide open a lunacy can leave you. And while the straining can be prevented or cleaned, or, you know, you can be immune to it, all those other debuffs are bordered. So here's what I think. Right now, this is radar. This is like everything up here people like really know about. Like, hey, signpost is good, cube is good, mystic is good. Here's that radar level. Right now, I think the lunacy is like right here. A lot of people, like Hugin's eye is up here, so on and so forth. The lunacy, I think, is right about here. I think a lot of people recognize it. I think a lot of people know its potential. But I don't think it's quite that common yet. It's a slow burn, kind of like the weather control device goes a little slow. The Scroll of Runamaroth, I think, was slow. I think people first saw it and they went, eh. And then they started running into it in combat, and they were like, whoa, wait a minute here. That thing's a bitch. There's no Pesty, but it's like Pesty. So, my idea to you guys, and something that I think would work on defense, because it is foolproof, although you will wind up resting, run the Black Roscoe, the Gauntlet Caress, the Cosmic Cardinal, the Lunacy, and the Scroll of Runamaroth. The Scroll of Runamaroth says, yeah, that's straining, you're not going to fix that. So the enemy team is just going to be losing stamina like crazy, and my one really legit loss this season from a few days ago was a Pesty and ASG that ran the Lunacy, and I started having stamina issues, and of course, you know, Pesty's out on the field and whatnot, so there was no cleaning. You will want, probably in round 1, it will be Lunacy, Runamaroth. Round 2 will be Lunacy, Rest. So you may say, well, that means my agent's not really doing much. He's doing a lot of stuff passively. The Gauntlet Caress will start withering and draining people, and you can't fix it because of the Scroll of Runamaroth. Cosmic Cardinal's beefing up your defense. So Null, level 15 Null, level 15 P5 Infiltrator Emma, whatever you want on your agent, Bruiser with the, or, you know, take out the Gauntlet Caress, put in the Hugin's Eye. If you want to be more defensive. But the Gauntlet Caress, if you do counter with it, will proc Null if you're running tag team, but in this case you're running the Elite ISO. So pre-fire ISO on Emma, the Elite ISO on Null. Null becomes uninterruptible. Emma might become interruptible, that is true. If she goes to do a pre-counter and there is a Hafe on the enemy side, Hafe may punch Emma before the attack goes off. However, it would activate her organic recovery, and then she will be pretty durable for the rest of the round. So, that is my suggestion for a defensive team. And what is even better is with the Salt, you could really stack up the defense. Meteor doesn't rely on attack. Psychic Tap doesn't rely on attack. You could force somebody into such a decayed corner, low on stamina, trying to walk around Emma and her Psychic Tap. She's migrating you. She's unlocking potential on her team, raising their stats. She's clearing debuffs. Null is hitting Meteor Swarms, can't be interrupted, potentially stacking more due to his counters. The Scroll of Runamaroth is magic, so if it gets used again in combat, there you go. So that's what I think can be done with the Lunacy. Personally, I don't want nobody to take my advice because I don't want to run into that team. I think it would be really bad, but that's my suggestion on building a potentially good defensive team that to me doesn't really seem like it has a lot of weaknesses. So again, to wrap it up, whatever you want on your agent, whatever suit, I would suggest Bruiser for, you know, putting out, well, you wouldn't put out the Cower, but you may tank and protect Emma a little bit. But level 15 Infiltrator Phoenix 5 Emma with the pre-fire ISO. And maybe even Mind Control on her Psychic Tap, or the Brain Freeze one because of the Scroll of Runamaroth. Either way you want to go, there's a lot you can do there. Level 15 Null Bruiser equipped with the Elite ISO. On your agent, the Scroll of Runamaroth and the Lunacy. Those are your two active items. And then stack up your special functionality. Cosmic Cardinal makes your team live a little bit longer. Heavy defense with heavy hit points. The Black Roscoe, the Gauntlet Caress, or maybe the biometric ID card, or potentially the Bishop, or you know, anything that is special functionality that helps. The Hugin's Eye. Run the Hugin's Eye, the Munin's Eye, and the Cosmic Cardinal. That's what I think would work. You could run a protector item like the Blade of the Guardian and the T-Bolt glove. However, as was evident by the Kingfisher video, with the fact that I had 2 quick actions that I've hopefully been assuming that they get used, my agent chose to do none of it and just mysticked Kingfisher's agent. Yes, it shut down his tech, but I missed an exhaust and I missed a seal in the debuffs. So, that's the video here on the lunacy, guys. Like I've said, in the Week in Marvel Avengers Alliance, I will be back on Sunday doing my live PvP 5 on Twitch. So make sure to subscribe to me on Twitch and Twitter, as I always send out a blast on Twitter before I go live on Twitch, Twitcher, and then of course when I'm on Twitch, it actually broadcasts back to Twitter. So yeah, look for me tomorrow to be doing PvP again. It was just wrapped up in BlizzCon. Go Cloud9, they won Heroes of the Storm, so America won the first Heroes of the Storm World Championship. I'm thrilled, and they actually beat Team DK from Korea, which makes it all the more sweeter because Team DK was a bunch of arrogant fucks. They basically said, once we figure out the American meta, because we don't know it, we're gravy, nobody's going to beat us, our biggest competition is other Korean teams. And then they got knocked into the losers bracket by a European team last weekend, and then they lost to an American team. So go America, we got an esport, we lost the Warcraft arena, sadly, and I don't know where we are in StarCraft, but we brought home the trophy in Heroes of the Storm, so congrats to Cloud9, congrats to Team USA. Shame Tempo Storm got knocked out, but at least we had one team in there that did it. So, good job everybody, and take care, have a good weekend.